Okay, let's go ahead and start. So this is the Landmark Commission meeting, June 17th. Clerk, will you call the roll, please, Quinn?
Alan Griffiths.
Here.
Kima Yandel. Elliot Dyer.
Here.
Jeff Crable.
Here.
Louis Schultz.
Here. Great. So any comments, commissioners, on the minutes?
I would move approval as submitted and waive the reading thereof.
Second for that?
Second.
Okay. Any comment or objections? Okay. Do we need to vote? I don't think we need to vote on that, do we, Stuart? We do? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We are waiving the reading of the minutes. Moving on to the first application for a certificate of appropriateness at 117 East Washington Row, which is next door.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is at 117 East Washington Row. This is a contributed building in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District. There's a little documented history that staff could find on the structure. We were able to find that it was a furniture store around 1955. It was not disclosed when that store closed, however. The existing use of this site is vacant currently. The proposed use is going to be a business and residential mixed-use building. The project is broken up into several different parts. There's going to be a front facade section and also a rear facade section. So in the front facade section, I'll start with the storefront. There's going to be an alteration to the windows. They're going to be shortening the first floor windows and then adding countertops on top of that. And there's also going to be a wall signage addition on the storefront facade. For the upper stories of the front facade, there's going to be window replacements for the second and third floor windows with a fan fold style window in the top left corner. And also the balconies. There'll be 4 new balconies in all 4 window openings that exist. The applicant's also requesting to paint the entire facade. We spoke with the applicant into minimizing that request to the storefront only, and she seemed to respond well to that request. For the rear facade, the windows and doors are going to be altered. There's going to be 2 windows removed and 2 doors added in those places. Staff also asked the applicant to add transoms on top of the doors that meet the existing window heights to better represent the historic openings of those windows. There's going to be 4 windows that are going to be staying the same openings, but they will be replaced with metal aluminum black framing. And then the 4 windows on the left are going to be altered for doors to access the rear porches, which will be steel and also a black matte color. There's also going to be railings. All of the railings in this proposal are going to be a glass with no top railing, but a black frame on the sides. And then there's going to be 1 additional item at a future meeting, which will be the marquee sign. The reason we're not taking it tonight, we just need more information. So we're going to take that at another time.
So I just want to add a few comments on this one. So you'll notice the existing building has 4 windows across. Let's just look at the top floor, for example. So there's those 4 windows. The one all the way to the right is going to become a door, and you can see that's where we've drawn the green rectangle. We're recommending that since that window is being eliminated and they're adding a door, to add a transom above that to take up the rest of the space that would have been the height of that original window. That'll also draw some light into the hallway, and the owner was interested in following through with that when we talked with her this week. And then all the way on the left, you'll see the darker orange square that we've highlighted. Those windows are going to be replaced with sliding glass doors on the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor to access that steel frame structure that's going to be the railings and the rear balcony and the stairwell. So you can see that those will be altered. We don't have the exact dimensions, but we have documented that would take up as much of the original window opening as possible or something like that. We can make sure that we're able to move that forward today and not have to hang it back in the conditions that staff has written. And then the other 4 windows, as Mr. Oakes mentioned, that are kind of the lighter orange, those are going to be replaced, but they stated that they will be the same size as the original windows. It's not like very many people are going to see the back of the building, but the intent of the historic structure is going to remain, and that front window will be replaced, that's outlined there on the first floor. Another thing that was in the staff report that was a question mark was, how does this whole structure, the steel structure, hold itself up to make sure we're not going to compromise the building? There will be 6 footers. That's the 3 blue circles on the bottom of this diagram. So there's going to be 6 footers. So the stair structure will all support itself. It will be attached to the building, but it will support itself with those foundational footers.
Now, staff has determined that all of the requests are appropriate. I have one follow-up question I will ask after I give the staff recommendation. So based on all of the information and all of the comments that we received and feedback from the owner, we recommend granting the certificate of appropriateness for the front facade elements with the following conditions. That's that all applicable permits are obtained through the building department, engineering department, division of planning, and any other applicable agency prior to any construction. The second item for this condition is the window replacements are all black, aluminum clad, or wood framed, all aligned with future size, scale, and proportion and massing to the existing windows. And staff has no concerns, but that is just more of a precautionary measure for that condition. This next item is that any countertop material extending to the exterior of the structure is consistent with other design elements and is an appropriate material such as stone or wood. That the wall signage illumination is 3000 K, warm white or a warmer color temperature. And the painting is limited to the stucco material on the first floor storefront, and no brick is painted. The second item, which will be the rear facade, staff recommends granting the certificate of appropriateness with the following conditions. That's that all applicable permits are obtained through the building department, engineering department, division of planning, and any other applicable agency prior to any construction. And number 2 is that the existing windows are refurbished or replaced with new black aluminum clad windows that are aligned in features, size, scale, and proportion, and massed into the existing windows. And then the third item is that transom windows are added to the second and third floor doors to more appropriately align with historic window openings being replaced.
I'll mention one comment, that item D on the front facade, we did talk with the owner. There's not actually a countertop that's going to be extending into the front facade. She mentioned that there will be overhead glass doors that will be primarily fitting within the openings of the storefront. So I don't know that we need condition 1D. We could strike that. And we also, there was an option to table this. We don't see a need to table any item because we've clarified all the questions that we had.
Good. Would you like to come and say a few words, introduce yourself?
Yes.
You're welcome to, you're not required to.
Hi.
You'll need to come, sorry, just use the mic so that the hordes of people watching us on YouTube are able to hear you.
And Quinn can do the minutes. That's important.
Yeah, more importantly, so we can get
Yes. Hi, I'm Tracy Hiss, if I haven't met any of you. I own Demore's Offshore Bar and Grill. I've owned it for the last 15 years, and yes, I'm a true Demore. Blood from Demore, so, and as I mean that, because my dad started that business in 1970. And this building had a little sentimental value to me, and Mr. Waldock had sentimental value to me. So I know he gave up an opportunity after I was there 5 times, and he said, Tracy, are you going to buy this building? I said, oh. And then I heard a rumor that somebody had bid, and I called right away. And I just wanted to be part of this area. And I think that we have a lot of history around here, and I feel I'm just as much involved with that history as everybody else. I'm born and raised. And I think, you know, what we need down here, this is going to be accommodations, you know, like condos for people. And then along with that, you know, we're going to offer a pretty good restaurant. I may be biased, though. But it's going to be a sandwich soup menu for the lunches, the dinners, if we're going to go a little off, and if you're a duck and a lamb and, you know, pastas and seafoods, and then also the simple. But that's what you're going to see. But my dad told me you want a small restaurant full or a large restaurant half full. So my intentions is not to make this a large restaurant, looking at about 75, 80 occupancy. So, but I'm excited. We're moving right along. more and more of the streets are getting taken up by Heartland, and I do apologize. But I'm excited to be involved with this, and, you know, I think it's going to be a great project for me to say, and my kids, and they're going to be the big part of it. And when I say kids, I'm going to not deny that they're 30 and 26, but ready to take over on some great challenges after graduating college with their culinary and hospitality degree from Ohio State. Go Bucks! OH! So thank you very much, but I'm looking forward to it, and my door's always open. So if there's ever a question, or if you want to just stop by, they had the opportunity to come peek and see what was going on, and that door is open no matter what.
Great.
Thank
very
you.
much. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
I just had a comment. I appreciate you buying this building and making it better and making all this downtown along with everyone else doing the same thing. I'm super excited to see how it's going to be and look forward to trying some of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a really good location, especially for the, you know, post-workday dinner type crowd.
It is.
Because you'll have plenty of parking for sure.
And a beautiful view. I say, I've got the best gardeners in the
Couldn't be
world. Living on the top. So I said, I got the best city gardeners I can ask for.
I just wanted to clarify, you're comfortable with all of the changes and
Yes, I
amendments
am.
that the city staff
Yes, we
pulled
talked,
forward?
and I
Okay.
have no problem with
Perfect.
the changes.
All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Motion?
Yeah, before we get there, just administratively, any recommendation or any motion that recommends adoption of staff's recommendations is striking item D in paragraph 1, and we are not opting for the option under paragraph 3. With that caveat, I'd
Okay.
love to entertain a motion.
Yes, I would make a motion to accept the recommendations of staff as presented and discussed here with the provision of the 2 exceptions that were just noted.
And is there a second?
Second.
Second that.
Okay.
Elliot.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Could I sneak in a question during discussion here?
Sure.
Just one follow-up. I just want to confirm, and I apologize, I just forgot to ask you when we met last week. I just want to confirm the sign materials for the wall sign.
Yes.
What would that be?
It's what we're looking at is that new modernized, you know, the clear lighting, the amber look to it. You're talking on the frontage, or are you talking?
Yeah, the lettering. Is it going to be like a metal
Yes.
bracket?
It'll be black. That's what we're looking at. I haven't ordered anything until you tell me what I'm allowed to do.
Okay.
So that's why, and I know you guys just updated all the handbooks, so
Yeah.
that's why I'll make, Mr. Brady, Brady Electric was the company that we contacted
Okay. Thank
for
you.
the signage, so I'm sure that he's not that,
So just to
Now that
clarify,
he would-
we're essentially postponing the signage approval?
There's 2 signs. There's a marquee and there's a wall sign, so we're postponing the marquee sign.
Okay.
Yeah, the
But
wall
that's not
sign is
part of this
included.
motion.
The wall sign is
The wall
included
sign
in
is
the
part of the
motion that
motion.
says hideaway there on the front.
Yeah.
And the metal, the lighting is fine, and the metal material would be appropriate.
All right. So this is to include the wall sign, but not the
Marquee.
marquee sign?
Correct.
All right. So any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. Quinn, can you call the roll, please?
Louis Schultz,
Yes.
Alan Griffiths,
Yes.
Jeff Crable,
Yes.
Elliot Dyer.
Yes.
Great. Congratulations, and look forward to seeing it. Perfect.
Thank
And then
you.
the marquee sign, you'll work with staff, depending on the rules, they may be able to administratively approve it without necessarily coming to a meeting.
all righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, excellent. Conscious of time, do we have anything else we have to vote on?
There's nothing else to vote on.
Okay, all right. We will go through the administrative approvals, and if Commissioner Crable, if you have to sneak off early, we understand.
Yes, fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, we will start with this long list at 135 Columbus Ave. This is for painting of a storefront. This is a non-contributing building in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District. The applicant submitted this application to match the color scheme of the Crush location for the what was once Mona Pizza location. The brick has been painted previously, and therefore it is appropriate to paint over again. The existing brick color and design is not original to the building. Staff has determined that a majority of the brick was the proposed gray color before Mona Pizza painted the green, white, and red there. And based on that, staff's opinion, the paint color meets the Secretary of the Interior Standards and the Sandusky Preservation Guidelines, specifically that the colors surrounding buildings were considered. Harsh or bold colors should not be used. If brick or stones have previously been painted, they shouldn't be painted. In this case, they had been. Staff administratively approved this project on May 25th of 2024.
I believe that project is complete. They're calling it Little Crush, so it's a rentable space and a kind of event space as part of Crush.
Thank you. Just to clarify, Tracy, you're welcome to join us for this if you want to, but you're not required to, and there's no further business for you in this meeting. No, you're good. If I were you, I'd also have gone somewhere else. Thank you.
The next item is 126 Columbus Ave. This is a rear building alteration. This is a contributing building in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District. The project scope is to paint the rear brick Sherwin-Williams SW7069 iron ore, to paint the rear metal door SW7535 or black, to have new gooseneck lighting over the signage, and a new 30-inch by 60-inch wall-mounted sign, a new concrete stair ramp with a black aluminum railing system, and then a new awning over the entry door. The alterations will accommodate guests and also help reach the ADA requirements for the rear access, also add a visual appeal to the rear of the building. The materials and colors are appropriate. The existing architecture will be minimally impacted by this project. Originally, they wanted to paint the entire rear facade, the iron ore color. Staff worked with them to paint what was once the original, as you can see the middle image there. Prior to the work being done, there was a section of brick that was previously painted, so we advised them to keep it in that space, and they did. So staff granted administrative approval for this project on March 15th of 2024. They also had to get an encroachment permit, which I believe is ongoing with the Public Works Department. All the standards in this request were met, and they meet all the guidelines.
And Director Gilson and I got a chance to take a look at this project. So they're working on a venue space in the second floor. So those 4 windows of the second floor look out on the bay, and then it's like an L-shaped space. So the second floor windows look over Columbus Avenue on the other side. It's a really beautiful interior. That project's still underway. Alec mentioned that they would need an encroachment permit on city property to get into the building from the back here, but it could be a really, really great space. There's also an elevator in there, and that project is ongoing.
Just one quick question. Was there any conversation with them about restoring that to brick as opposed to repainting?
There was not.
Okay.
They had given us the full facade painted, and we asked them if they would limit it to the area that had been
Previously
painted
painted.
existing, and they said that they would do that.
Okay.
Any further questions or comments?
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on to 279 East Market Street. This is for a signage application. This is a contributed building in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District. The applicant requested a signage permit. The background color is an off-white, which is an antique white, similar to the sign that was being replaced. It has black lettering and an historic orange tone as an accent color. The materials, colors, and shapes are appropriate. The existing exterior architecture will not be impacted by this project. The sign will be double-sided and rectangular in shape. And then the new non-illuminated signage meets the standards and guidelines based on the good quality design, simple graphics, and simple message of the sign. That no fluorescent colors were used. The use of a non-white or an off-white background is appropriate. The color scheme is simple. And staff granted administrative approval for this project on March 25th of 2024. With the requirements that all permits are required prior to any construction.
And that project is complete. They did a full interior renovation of the first floor, so I recommend taking a look. They refinished the hardwood and everything inside.
The next item is 265 Jackson Street for signage. This is an individually listed, I actually put a list in there, it's listed property on the National Register of Historic Places. It's a church. It's going to remain a church. The application is to allow a temporary banner for their summer concert series. The color scheme is going to be SW9185, which is called Maria Baja, and the other secondary color is SW0050, which is a classic light bluff. The colors and shapes are appropriate. In this case, the plastic material is acceptable as it is a temporary sign and will be removed once they exceed 60 calendar days per year. That's a zoning code requirement that we'll be enforcing. And the existing exterior architecture will not be impacted by the project. The new non-illuminated signage meets the standards and the guidelines based on the fact that it's a good quality design, simple graphics, simple message, no fluorescent colors were used. This was the first application that actually used our new historic color palette and our guidelines.
Good.
And they used it very well. And then the use of a non-white background was used, and the color scheme is simple. Staff granted administrative approval for the project on April 9th of 2024 with the requirements that all permits are acquired prior to any construction. The next item is 131 East Water Street. Tangled up here. This is also for signage, for a window sign. This is a contributing building in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District. The sign is going to be a window sign that says, hello, welcome, or welcome to Sandusky, hello, fun, with a graphic of someone riding a bike. The window signage is appropriate in shape, size, location, and color scheme. It will fully cover the window, but the window looks onto a blank wall currently. It's the wall side of an interior staircase. And so the covering will activate the window, looking like a mirror to the pathway. It's staff's opinion that the window signage meets the standards based on the fact that window signage is appropriate and encouraged in downtown building storefronts, and that's limited to 25% of the window area, and that this is being met. This will also help activate the window to pedestrians and people on the bike path, or off the bike path even. And we gave administrative approval for this project on May 25th of 2024.
Typically, we wouldn't approve something that covers an entire window, but as Alec mentioned, it just looks at a white blank wall because it's an interior staircase. So in this case, it'll be a good activation of that window.
And when you do the calculation about the area of the windows, you're taking the whole front, the windows for the whole frontage into account, is that correct?
It's a singular window, so 25% per singular window.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So this one was close, but it met the standards.
Okay.
The next item for consideration is 207 through 211 East Water Street. This is for a outdoor dining area on the rear of the building. This is a contributed building in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District. The applicant is planning, or did add a bistro table and chairs, raised boxwood planters, and string lights in the rear of the building. There's the drawing of it. The expansion will help the business accommodate more guests and also add curb appeal to the rear. The seating and planters are temporary in nature as it can be easily removed if needed. The materials are all appropriate. The existing architecture will not be impacted by this project. It's staff opinion that the outdoor seating expansion meets the standards and guidelines, specifically the following. Outdoor dining areas are encouraged downtown. Areas should be designed to encourage visitation. Should include planters, tables, chairs, benches, umbrellas, soft lighting, public art. Placed in a public right-of-ways are encouraged with coordination from city staff and to avoid items that are too large for space and create obstructions to pedestrian traffic flow. Staff has no concerns with these guidelines, and we feel these are met. Staff granted administrative approval for the project on April 9th of 2024 with the requirements that all permits are acquired before any construction or placement of the outdoor area.
And Public Works brought us this one, so they were working on their encroachment permit. I believe they have everything in place, and the project has not been complete yet.
And then the final staff approval for tonight is for 133 through 137 East Water Street. This is for doors, trim, transom, and also window signage. This is a contributing building in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District. The doors, trim, transom is going to be black. The color is the color is appropriate as the material is also aluminum. The new doors, trim, and transom will be very similar to the previous that was there that will be replaced from these new windows, transoms, and trim. The applicant also submitted an application for window signage. They're going to alter the existing Elite Wellness Group. They're changing it to Elite Medical Group. The window signage is appropriate shape, size, location, and color scheme, the new one. It is staff's opinion that the doors, trim, and transom alterations and window signage meet the guidelines and standards, specifically the following for the doors, trim, and transom. They're supposed to be replaced with like-for-like materials, design, colors, et cetera, to avoid stained or leaded glass, avoid heavily carved or ornate doors or hardware on simple buildings, and no residential doors shall be used on commercial buildings. These are all met. Window signage is appropriate on downtown building storefronts, no more than 25% window coverage. That's also met. And staff granted administrative approval for the project on June 7th of 2024 with the requirements that all necessary permits are acquired before any construction.
In this case, I believe the door is just not working and they needed to replace it, so you're going to probably not even notice a change. You'll see the change in their logo and the window signage, but you might not notice the change in the door when they complete that project.
Perfect. Thank you. Do we have any other business?
I have one other update, that we sent a letter out to every property address and every property owner, and thanks so much to Quinn for many hours compiling that spreadsheet. So it was about 525 letters that we sent out to announce the new guidelines and let folks know that they were either in a property or owner of a property that was subject to the new guidelines. So
I got mine.
every owner, and in some cases, there were multiple letters set out, and we allowed that redundancy because we wanted to be really thorough with this mailing.
No, it was good.
I had a couple people call me like, did I do something wrong? I'm like, no, we sent one to everybody.
No, it was good.
Hopefully,
Thank you for that.
keep people from doing something wrong.
Yes, so
All
now
right.
we can,
Yeah.
Cool. Conscious of Commissioner Crable's time, take a motion to adjourn.
I'll take the liberty of making that motion.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank
thank you. 5:28, look at that.